You're listening to the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Each week, I'm going to be interviewing top realtors from coast to coast to give you a backstage pass on how they've created their amazing real estate empires and how you can copy them. Hello, this is Craig Proctor, and you're watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. Today, from Metro Atlanta, I have Todd and Amanda Mulkey. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, Craig. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, you guys are always excited about the real estate business. You're doing a great job in Metro Atlanta. I want to thank you for being here on the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show. We were talking before we got started about some of the guarantees that you use to totally set yourself apart from the other real estate agents. Talk to us about how that started, because you were going to tell me before we got started. And I said, no, save it for when we're live. You said you met me because of the guarantees. So Todd, take it away. Share that story.
You wanna start it?
Well, actually, Craig, I was driving home from Atlanta through Metro Atlanta, and I was listening to the radio, and this ad came on. And it really got my attention immediately. Your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. I was like, I have never heard that before. That is amazing. So I went home and I told my broker husband that we need to call this guy on the radio to sell our home, because he actually guarantees that he will sell it or he's going to buy it. And of course, my husband was taken back. He's like, what? I'm the broker. What are you saying? What are you doing? So it was so powerful that I had to come home and say, hey, I'm calling somebody else to sell our home.
So what happens next? That's the first time you'd heard of the guarantee. And as you know, Craig Proctor system members all over the country who represent, mind you, they represent the top real estate agents all over Canada, the United States, which I know you guys have become really good friends with, and you're a big part of our network. But how did you get involved? So that was your first exposure is the guaranteed sales program. And that's, by the way, as we all know, why buyers and sellers pick up the phone and call Craig Proctor members every day, is because the message is so unique. In real estate, everybody makes promises. There's an overuse of the word guarantee. I'll guarantee to sell your home. I'll guarantee to sell it faster than anyone else. I'll guarantee to sell it for more money, except for if none of that happens, there is no consequence, right? It's just words. And right. So, you've done a great job of creating performance guarantees where there's an actual consequence. So if you don't perform as promised in writing, there is a consequence, and the consequence usually means money's coming out of your pocket into the buyer or seller's pocket. So how did you get started with us? How did you begin the process?
Well, so as you can probably imagine, after that conversation, it was an epiphany, because I've been doing this at that time over 20 years. And here's my wife wanting somebody else to sell our home and me being in the business. So it was like, I've got to find out everything I can about this, because this is a game changer.
You're like, I got to get my game on. My wife wants to.
I'm going to lose my wife. I mean, who's going to sell this house? I'm going to be competing against somebody else from my own house. So.
Now, ironically, behind you, we see the logo, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So you now have a Craig Proctor brokerage, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So look at how innocently this began, with Amanda hearing one of our radio commercials to you now not only becoming a Craig Proctor system member, and a great one at that, but now having your own Craig Proctor brokerage. So we're so excited to have you part of it. I know you've met great people as part of the organization, and they say the same thing about you. This close-knit family we have of top agents that share, and they're so entrepreneurial. Maybe the message, maybe Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, maybe the guarantees that we offer, maybe that attracts special people like you. It did attract you, and that's how it attracts others as well. Talk to us about when you began with us, I assume you came to a super conference at one point?
Yeah, so basically I would say within 30 days after that conversation, I found you. And it's odd because I'd seen your ads for decades, Craig, no kidding, in the back of real estate magazines. And I knew who you were. Todd Walters is in our market. I knew who Todd Walters was. I started as an appraiser. So I'd even appraised some properties that Todd was the listing agent on. And I saw the marketing and I was always like, I don't know how this guy's doing this, but it's incredible marketing.
Well, it's a damn good thing Amanda's around, because he's been sitting there in Metro Atlanta watching this all go down. He knew who I was. It took a woman to figure this out, and Amanda sort of pushed you on this, and so you were exposed to it. But what clicked? Was it just Amanda pushing to find more information on it?
It was that conversation.
Yep.
It literally, and that started it. So within 30 days, we were at we were at one of your super conferences in Orlando. That was June of 2017. And about 4 months later, we moved to platinum. And we've just grown from there and followed
like a rocket ship. Okay, now that we know, we have a feel for who you are and how you got started with me, let's talk about what's happened to your production in the short amount of time you've been involved.
Well, so really we've gone, and it continues to grow. I mean, and we've made about every mistake you could possibly make, but it's kind of like, okay, so when we started 2017, we're a full service real estate company, property management, all of those things. So when we started with the Craig Proctor system, our sales volume was about, let's say $40,000. And within that year of joining Craig Proctor, we were doing a month what we were previously doing as a year's production.
Okay, kaboom. Okay, does everybody get that? So within a short period of getting involved with the Craig Proctor system, you basically turned your yearly income into your monthly income. You were making more per month than you were in an entire year.
Yes,
Right.
and that is just with us nibbling around the edges, as you folks would say.
Right.
Oh, nibbling around the edges. I love that, Amanda. So explain to everybody, that's common terminology inside of Craig Proctor world, but explain to everybody what you refer to when you say nibbling around the edges.
Well, you have given us a complete system that has been masterfully created. It is complete in its entirety. And what I mean by nibbling around the edges, this $4+ million system that was handed to us, we have just nibbled around the edges and implemented a little here, a little there. But if we would have gone all in, Craig, since day one, oh my goodness, the sky's the limit. It's insane. This USP, it's so powerful. And that's why I came home and told my broker husband, where has this been your entire career?
Good question. I'm slow, Craig. Slow.
Apparently it was right under Todd's nose.
It was all around me. I just couldn't see it.
Yeah. I mean, look, all you had to do is take Todd Walters. You didn't have to change the first name, just the last name and start running those ads. Okay. So you're doing well and you're building a real business, a sellable asset. I mean, that's what excites you about having your own Craig Proctor brokerage is your entire brokerage, all your agents inside your brokerage are licensed to use the Craig Proctor intellectual property and the system. As you know, we're closing in on 100 brokerages in Canada and the United States. We've got our second annual Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty international meeting in Cancun coming up in the spring, which will be exciting. Let's start with these guarantees and let's go back to what you would advise realtors who are watching this, because we're going to have thousands of realtors from all over the United States and Canada, all over the world watching this because this will be posted all over social media. Now that they have a feel of who you are and how you got started, when you became a Craig Proctor system member, and you said you've turned your you turned your yearly income into now monthly. You're making more every month than you made in a whole year. Let us in on some of the things that you started to do right at the beginning that were game changers for you.
So immediately, leads no longer being an issue. The marketing that is taught through the system, the implementation of that marketing, we had more leads coming at us than we knew what to do with. Literally, we could not get to all the leads. We have over 10,000 people in our database right now. And it totally changes your perspective about this business.
Yes.
We become selective of who we want to work with, which is, I mean, before, you're like, if they're breathing, we want.
Damn, that feels good. Doesn't that feel good? Can everyone watching agree with that we want to be, all of us really should be in a position where we have so much business coming in that we've got this luxury of choice that Todd's describing? Because Todd, like you, when I first got into the business, I had to work with everybody. If they were rude, if they lied to me, if they fought me all the way through the transaction, I didn't have the luxury of choice. I didn't have enough business coming in. And
Right.
as we all know, sure, we want to raise our income, but we want to have a better experience in real estate. And what burns you out as a real estate agent is working with ill-qualified buyers and sellers. So it's not only, our conversation today is not only about how to make more money and have a better life in real estate, but one of the ways to have a better life in real estate and make more money is to actually work with better clientele. And so that was my goal when I started out is, well, if I want to make a lot of money in real estate, I got to figure out how to attract the best buyers and sellers. Okay. I need to be able to get up every morning, look at all these leads I've created and realized, well, since I can't work with them all, I've got this luxury of choice. Well, who am I going to work with? Well, gee, I think I'll decide to work with the most motivated, the most qualified, the most sincere, the most ready to act buyers and sellers. So the lead generation is the first thing that you notice right away. It's like, that's a game changer, right? You've got people chasing you instead of you chasing them. And it's such abundance, you can really decide, okay, these are the people I'm going to spend my time with. Now, in fact, when you came to that first super conference, you probably heard me talk about that, because on stage, I say something like this. I say, look, my goal for all of you is to create abundance. Imagine a world where you didn't have to cold call, you didn't have to chase, where you could run inexpensive and automatically attract these quality buyers and sellers and work only with the very best ones. A lot of people hear that and they're a little bit skeptical, right? But that is truly the first thing that we want to do with every realtor that we work with, because it changes everything. It just creates so many opportunities. Now, when you got to that point where you've got all this business coming in, because I know, Todd, you and Amanda like to have a good life, and you must be thinking at this point, oh my God, like what have we created? You got all this business coming in. What were your thoughts at that point where, the pipeline is full? You've got this, huge amount of business coming in. Your next problem, I guess, is how am I going to handle all this?
Yes.
So
we need help.
We need help. Yeah.
We need help, and we can help those people that are looking to be, truly want to serve and provide exceptional service to their clients.
Yes, second mile service.
And really do something great. And, we can absolutely take all of those struggles that you have. We can just eliminate them.
Yeah. And the universal callback script, Craig, oh my goodness, that is gold.
Thank you. It took me about 15 years to figure that out.
It would have took me a lifetime, Greg.
That universal callback script, what we're referring to with the universal callback script, folks, is, I called thousands and thousands and thousands of leads every year myself through my, 20 odd year real estate career. And some of you may not know, but in my third year of having my license, I was the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world. And at that point, there was me and a couple, I think I had an administrative person and maybe one other agent. It wasn't a big team. I worked hard following up those leads on my own. And what I realized is I wasn't very good on the phone. I didn't know what to do or say. And I'm a procrastinator too. If I know that I'm not good on the phone, I don't want to make the phone calls, right? So I would be thinking of anything else I could do all day long except for making the phone calls. So when I started, jumping on the call and call after call after call, I became sort of good at it, right? And then I became better at it. And then I did some more calls and I became better. And it was really trial and error with what I needed to do and what I needed to say to get out of that phone call what I wanted. You see, in the beginning, I just thought it was a conversation, right? I thought, well, what am I calling? I'm going to try to bond with them or create a relationship. Well, heck, I'd be on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes with a buyer or seller. I might know their first name, their last name, how many kids they have. I might even know the name of their dog, but I didn't know the two most important things I wanted to know, which is what was their motivation and timing. So then the script became all about that. My mindset was, how the heck do I get on and off the phone in 3 minutes or less, determining the two most important things I want to know about a buyer or seller? Are they motivated, right? And what is their timing? Because if they're not motivated or their timing's way out, a year or two from now, then they don't represent an opportunity. And because now I was able to shorten my conversations from 15 or 20 minutes down to 2 or 3 minutes, I started to make a lot of money. So I had good leads coming in and I became really efficient with what that phone call what that conversation should sound like. And like you, I started booking a lot of appointments. So here was my problem. I'm the guy doing the calling, but I'm become pretty good at this, but now when I set up the listing and buyer appointments, I'm also the one doing the doing, right? So I'm doing the calling, call, book a whole bunch of appointments. Now I'm out there running around on listing appointments and buyer appointments, and now the calls aren't being made.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's like, oh my God, what am I? So I run back and I make a bunch of phone calls and I set up a bunch of listing appointments and buyer appointments. And then we all have that epiphany at some point, which is, I can't do this by myself. I'm going to be really limited in my business if it just relies on me. So I started to build out my team. And I know that's the process you're in right now, is you see the potential, you understand that there is no limit to this.
Exactly.
I think before we got started, you said the only limit to this is us, right? We're the only thing limiting this.
Yeah.
So I want to help you today. Reach out to some of the realtors in Metro Atlanta that, if you're turned on by this conversation, if this makes sense, if you're in Metro Atlanta, you have seen Craig Proctor's guaranteed sale program transform the lives of realtors. I mean, pretty much without exaggeration, if you go to any city in the United States or Canada and you look up the top agents, you're going to see the guaranteed sale program. You're going to see that these top agents are Craig Proctor members. They're system members now, where they have been in the past. They've been influenced by Craig Proctor. So if you're in Metro Atlanta, you want to, at least at a minimum, have a conversation with Todd and Amanda. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You can partner up with them, and they will literally just hand you listing appointments and buyer appointments. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but this is the best recruiting pitch ever. They're not going to give you leads, okay? That the leads go to the inside sales agents. Todd and Amanda will pay for all the advertising, all the lead generation, and literally all you have to do is take the Craig Proctor listing presentation that Todd and Amanda will coach you up on, and you just go from listing appointment to listing appointment, buyer appointment to buyer appointment. And Todd and Amanda's number one goal is you making as much money as possible, because they get a split on it. So that's why they spend an enormous amount of time onboarding team members and coaching them up. And of course, we help Todd and Amanda, and we coach them, and we coach everyone at their company as well. So if you truly are looking to make more money and have more time in your life, more freedom, you should check it out. Now, if you're outside of Metro Atlanta, you should be talking to me. And if you want to talk to me, I'm going to give you some information on how you can set up a time, a day and a time, and we'll have a conversation. Now, how that phone call would work is this. I would talk to you about where you are right now and where you want to go. And you would tell me, well, Craig, here's where I am right now. You know, I'm at 50 homes and I'd really like to sell 100. And I'm going to warn you right now. I'm going to say, well, why aren't you already doing it? And you're going to tell me all the reasons, all the things that are stopping you from selling 100 homes. Because if you knew how to do 100, you'd be doing 100, right? Or this is just an example. Maybe you're doing 100, you want to go to 200. I would give you my advice on how to remove the obstacles between where you are and where you want to go. Okay. And this can happen very quickly. You can ask Todd and Amanda. This transformation has happened very quickly. And you can probably tell they're excited every day to get up and go to work. And for some realtors, Todd and Amanda, that's not true. You know, maybe it was in the beginning. They got their license, they're excited. And, you know, that excitement kind of wanes over the years because the way they're doing their business is not actually an exciting way to do it. And they're not building equity. Like the great thing about what you're doing right now is you are creating a company, an asset, a sellable asset right now. Most real estate agents, they kind of just work until they get tired and, you know, it just goes away. I love what you guys are doing here. Now, if a realtor in Metro Atlanta, if they want to talk to you, okay, there's no downside to having a conversation. And hey, you might even be a competitor to Todd and Amanda, and perhaps you have maybe like negative connotations. Oh, this guaranteed sale program. Oh, it's a gimmick. Oh, it's a bait and switch. Hang on, let's handle this for a minute. First of all, what we're offering, just so everyone's clear, is we're guaranteeing the sale of the seller's house in writing. We're giving them an upfront guarantee in writing that if we can't sell their house for more than anyone in the open market that will pay for it. Okay, so think about this. This isn't like an iBuyer deal where they come and they, you know, they tell you your house is worth 10% and you take it or you leave it. No. It doesn't work that way. This is way better than a guarantee that you would get from an iBuyer company because we give you an upfront guarantee in writing. We'll market that property for say 120 days. And after 120 days, if we don't get a superior offer from an outside buyer, then and only then will the guarantee kick in. Of course, the seller at any time could say, I don't want the guarantee, but it's there. So I want you to understand that this is like an insurance policy that we give sellers that no other real estate agent or real estate company would offer. You know, Todd and Amanda and I were talking about car dealerships. Why do you think car dealerships have trade-ins? Why do they take trade-ins? Why doesn't the car dealership say, okay, well, you got to sell your own house sell your own car rather on Auto Trader, and then you can buy the new car? Because a lot less people would be in the position to buy a new car. So we are taking trade-ins. If you move up to any one of our listings, we'll take your house and trade. We'll give you an upfront written guarantee. It's a done deal. If we sell your house for more than the upfront guarantee, you get the higher offer. The seller always benefits from the highest offer, whether it's our upfront written guarantee or a superior offer from an outside buyer. So that takes away that this isn't a real deal. It's a gimmick. Why are all these iBuyer companies, why do they exist? Because this is something that the public wants. So if you have any kind of negative perception about the guarantees that we're offering, understand the public does not. The public loves, buyers and sellers love the fact that they can move up, buy any one of our listings with a cash offer, and it doesn't have to be conditional to sell their house because they're getting this upfront guarantee. Now, these are the types of leads that are coming in. People are calling Todd and Amanda every day, and the conversation, I don't have to ask because I know the conversation is, hey, Todd and Amanda, we see this thing around town that you'll guarantee the sale of our house. What would you buy my house for? Or when can you come over and meet with us? The marketing has done its job at that point, right? Because now they're in front of a seller that wants to sell their home, and that's what good marketing does. Now, let me handle the bait and switch thing for a minute. Okay, so realtors will say, well, that's just Todd and Amanda, that's just a great marketing campaign to trick people into calling. Well, first of all, that's what marketing's supposed to do, by the way. Marketing is supposed to compel people that want to buy and sell any product or service to call, but it's not a trick, okay? It's the real deal. But let's just go down the bait and switch thing. I could accuse every real estate agent in North America of being guilty of bait and switch, because every time you promote one of your listings, you know what happens. 90% of the ad calls or sign calls that you get, you would tell the buyer or seller about the property that they called on, and you'd say, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-story, whatever. And at least 90% of the time, the prospect says, oh, Amanda and Todd, thanks, but no thanks. That house is too big. It's too small. It's in the wrong location. It's too much money or whatever. Now, in the beginning, of course, I would say, okay, well, sorry. And I would let the buyer go. And the buyer, I guess, will go off and buy another home. And then I wised up after a year or so in the business. I'm like, okay, I get it now. The buyer never buys the house they call on. So I learned the art or science of call conversion. So when the buyer calls and says, tell me about your listing on Glenway Circle, and I tell them all about the property, and they tell me it's too big or too small, wrong location or whatever. Before they get off the phone, what we're trained to do in real estate is ask, well, what are you looking for? Now, how many of you would agree that we all do that? Well, that, in fact, we could say we're all guilty of bait and switch. Does everyone follow me? You baited the buyer with your listing, fully knowing, because you're an experienced realtor, that 90% of the time, 90% of the inquiries are going to eliminate that property, tell you it's too big, too small, whatever. And then you switch them on to another property, which is usually not another property that you have listed. It may not even be another property your brokerage has listed. It's probably another listing on MLS. Okay, so what we're talking about here, folks, are paradigms. Don't let any negative thoughts, any false perceptions, any old paradigms get in the way of at least having a phone call with Todd and Amanda. Okay, this is the real deal. Look, folks, they're doing more business in a month than they did an entire year. If they can do this, you can do this. The fact that they're successful at it is positive proof that any of you can do this. And believe me, in the Craig Proctor system, as Todd and Amanda will attest to, you will meet thousands of Todd and Amandas in the Craig Proctor system that are truly making more money in a month than they were in a year before they joined up with us. So if that doesn't motivate you to at least pick up the phone and have a conversation with Todd and Amanda, and what's the best way for them to reach you, Todd and Amanda?
Yes, so we would love, so just know that if we would love to have a conversation with you, nothing but a great conversation to see where you're at and what you want. You can reach us at 770-898-1088. It's completely, we can meet confidentially. No worries about any of that. We can take you to lunch, whatever. But we would love to just have a conversation with you and share just how powerful this is, because listen, there is a great life in real estate if you are in this system.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the drudgery that the industry has created for so many. And we're thankful to Craig for sharing his system that he came up with. It's literally it's life-changing in so many ways, and not just in real estate, guys. I mean, the discipline that you develop in your life, it's incredible. And the people that are part of this organization, that camaraderie and being able to talk to people that are just literally, let me say it this way. Before we were tied with Craig Proctor, okay, it was not a thought for me to think that I could make $1 million a year selling real estate. And now I'm surrounded by people where I'm thinking, what am I doing not making at least, some of these people are making $1 million a month doing this. And our goals, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves.
No, I love that shift in paradigm. I love that shift in thinking.
It's
So
crazy.
at first you had, you were probably thinking, well, nobody makes $1 million. I could never make $1 million. And now your paradigms totally shift to, I can't believe we're not already making $1 million in GCI like all these other Craig Proctor members. And that's what happens, folks. When you start to hang out with people that are doing more than you start to become friends with them. And you're like, Todd and Amanda meet hundreds of our members, and all of a sudden they realize, well, these people are no different than me. The fact that they're doing it means I can do it, and you are doing it. And I'm so excited to be able to help you and everybody else have a better life in real estate. But that's the same excitement that you have when you bring on team members and you help everyone on your team have a better life in real estate as well. So I want you to understand that when you join up, when you partner up with Todd and Amanda, it doesn't just make Todd and Amanda's life better, it will make your life better. Don't be skeptical about this. You might be thinking, well, maybe I just want to do my own deal, and maybe you do, but you don't have to. Right? You don't have to. You should just have a conversation. There's no downside. I mean, I guess I had a conversation with Amanda. It was over the radio. I mean, that's how that started. She was she was forced to listen to my conversation on the radio, but you should check it out. Give us your contact information again.
So give us a call, 770-898-1088.
And I'll put that in the comments below. Now, we also have a bonus gift here as well. This is pretty cool. It's got the Your Home Sold. I don't know if you can see it here, the Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty logo at the top of it, but you probably can't read it. So I'm going to have Faith bring this on board here. Let's just bring it up, and we're going to give this to you. Okay. When we're done this interview, we're going to give you these guarantees, and we'll quickly go through how powerful these are. Now, you may not know how to use them all, but that's why you want to talk to us. Okay. But we're going to show you some of the guarantees that we make here. We'll go over these very quickly. And by the way, if you want to book a free breakthrough call with me, you can do that by going to proctorcall.com. So just my name, proctorcall.com. And you can go to my day timer, pick a day and a time that works for you. And we'll just have a conversation about what's going on in your business. This is not a big sales pitch, folks. If you have a conversation with me and it goes well and you'd like to work with me, that's great. I'd love that. And if you don't see value in our conversation, you just continue doing what you're doing now. There is no downside. There's no cost. There's no obligation. It's proctorcall.com. And again, I will have a link in the comments below so you can set up a call with me. Okay, so Todd and Amanda, I'm going to quickly go through these just because I'm the one that created them, and I'll go through them real quick. So we got our buyers in waiting guarantee. Okay, so imagine, by the way, this is Todd and Amanda, this is one of my favorite parts of the listing presentation, is when I get to look the sellers in the eyes. Hopefully they got more than one. Look the sellers in the eyes, and I produce a list, a printout of the buyers that I have in my database that are looking to buy a home like theirs. So the language will go like this. I'd say, hey, Todd and Amanda, in preparation for our appointment tonight, I did a search of our database, and I have 127 buyers that are looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-story home in the northeast part of town, looking in your area here. And I printed out, and I show them a printout of the names of all my buyers. And I hand that printout. Sure, I could do this on my iPad or my laptop, but I actually print out the buyers that I have, and I hand those buyers to the seller. And the seller, usually it's husband and wife, they're looking at that, and they say, look, you mentioned that you interviewed a couple of other realtors, right? Did the other realtors you meet with, did they talk to you about how many buyers they're currently working with? No. all the other agents wanted to talk about is, should we list with them what they would begin to do to try to find a buyer? I said, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's almost like I've been looking for a buyer for your home before you and I even met today. Now, sometimes we get a hit right away. Sometimes we get multiple offers. So should you decide to list your home with me, the very first thing that I would do is I would email my 127 buyers with detailed pictures and descriptions of your property. And yeah, sometimes we get a hit right away. You see, I position myself in the seller's mind as Craig is the agent that has all the buyers. So we've got a buyers in waiting guarantee. It says, in addition to the key systems that activate upon listing to get your property sold, your property will be exposed to the broker's group of pre-qualified and interested buyers. Okay, so we've got our own database, okay, of dozens or hundreds or sometimes thousands of buyers that are ready to buy and are looking for a home in your area, in your price range. So that is a big, unique selling proposition right on its own. Now, all of you can do this, right? You all have some buyers in your database, I hope. And if not, that's why you need the Craig Proctor system. Because remember, the first thing that Todd and Amanda talked about is the first thing Craig did is he taught us lead generation. I want you to have a lot of buyers in your database, and I'll show you how to leverage off the buyers to get the sellers, right? That's what we're doing here. We're basically promoting or advertising all the buyers you have in your database that would be a good match for the seller's listing. The other agents aren't doing that. They're like, well, if you list with me, here's all the stuff I would do to try to find a buyer. We're coming along with a list of buyers we already have. Can everybody see the difference? Okay, your home sold guaranteed. Seller's property will sell within the term of the agreement, okay? Or you can make any guarantee you want. It doesn't have to be, we'll buy it. You could guarantee this. You could guarantee, I guarantee to get you an offer in 7 days, or in 30 days, or in 60 days, or I'll reduce my commission by $1,000, right? You could guarantee the sales price. You could guarantee, I guarantee to sell your home for the full asking price or more, or I'll pay you $1,000. All right, we could combine these guarantees. It could be your home sold in under 7 days at full asking price or more, or I'll deduct $1,000 off my. Now, we don't want to reduce our commission at all. So we better address that as well. If you think this is about commission cutting, it's the opposite. We want to teach you how to add so much value that you actually not only win the listing, but you get a higher fee than your competitors. Okay. We're going to set these guarantees up. So it's the biggest promise you can both make and keep, right? So if you know it takes you longer to sell a home than 7 days, you wouldn't guarantee 7 days. And the other condition here, of course, to get the guarantees, this is a writer downer. The big condition is to get the guarantees, the seller must list their home at your recommended listing price, which is always the conversation with sellers anyway. Now, sometimes we run into sellers that say, well, I want more than that. Well, you've got leverage here because the seller wants the guarantee more than you want to give it. So you could say to the seller, okay, well, I mean, we can list your house at a higher price and overprice it, except for we can't give you the guarantee at that price. And the seller says, but I really want the guarantee. Great. Then let's list it at, my recommended fair market price. Communication guarantee. Okay, this is a big one. Number one complaint, Todd and Amanda, the number one complaint that sellers have about real estate agents is what?
Can't get in touch with them.
Can't get in touch with them, right? I think it's something crazy, like 72% of sellers last year said they wouldn't use their last agent because their experience has been you list with the agent and you never hear from the realtor again. Yeah. So Todd and Amanda make a guarantee. It's like, hey, we're going to call you within 24 hours. And if we don't call you back within 24 hours, and besides, when you call us, we're going to guarantee to call you every week. Every week, we promise to call you in writing. We promise to call you every week to let you know what's going on with the marketing, the feedback on the showings, answer all your questions. And if there's any week that you don't get that weekly phone call, we're going to reduce our commission by $100 anytime that happens. And if you call our office, we're going to return that phone call within 24 hours, or we're going to reduce our commission by $100 anytime that happens. Now, I'm sure a lot of other realtors would make these kind of guarantees to the seller, right? How many of you watching this would make that type of guarantee? You go to list a property, you'd say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you list with me, I'm going to call you every week. I'm going to return your phone calls. Of course, but the difference is you're not guaranteeing it in writing. It's just a verbal, just a verbal guarantee. And not only is this in writing, there's a consequence, right? There's something actually happens if the weekly call doesn't take place, which is $100 goes off the commission anytime the communication doesn't happen as guaranteed in writing. Okay, number 4 is the honest promises guarantee. Okay, so what we do here is we bring in a little brochure that basically bullet points all the stuff that you're going to do when you list the house. So listing agents, right? You meet with a seller and you tell the seller, hey, if you list with me, here's all the stuff I'm going to do. We're going to stick a for sale sign on. We're going to broker load it. We got 8 different websites. Here's all the stuff we're going to do. Now, don't make that verbal. Put it in writing and then guarantee it. So the guarantee here is if we don't do all the stuff that we promised we're going to do in writing in our honest promises guarantee, we're going to deduct $500 off of any time we don't do something we said we're going to do. And by the way, we will teach you how to, what's the word I'm looking for? When you make something sound better than it is. Look, I'll give you an example. Most realtors would say this, embellish, that's the word. How do we embellish this? Okay. So most realtors would say this. They'd say, Todd and Amanda, when you list your home with me, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'll broker load your home on MLS. Here's the way I would say it. Todd and Amanda, should you decide to list your home with me, one of the first things that I would do is I would send detailed information, pictures and detailed information on your property out to 60,000 realtors in the greater metro Atlanta area. It means MLS, right? But how I said it sounds better. How many agents are there in greater Atlanta?
There's probably at least 60.
Yeah. Yeah. So, within 24 hours of listing your home with me, Todd and Amanda, I'm going to send pictures and detailed information about your home to over 60,000 real estate agents in the greater metro area. Doesn't that sound better? I'm going to broker load it on MLS. So we teach you how to embellish or describe in a better way the stuff that you do, so you differentiate what you do from everybody else. It just sounds better. And when it sounds better, the sellers like it. Okay, let's go to number 5. Reality-based selling price range guarantee. Todd and Amanda, how many times have you been beaten out, lost a listing because some other realtor lies to the seller about what their property's worth?
Yeah, countless.
Yeah.
It's the oldest technique in the book, right? How many of you are frustrated by that, right? You know you're the best agent for the job. You give a bang up presentation, but you're an honest person. You tell the seller the truth about what their house is really worth. And then, you follow up with the seller a day or two later and you find out, oh, well, Todd and Amanda, we really liked you. We really thought you were the best realtors for the job. However, we met with this other realtor that said they could sell our home for $10,000 more. Yeah. And then, of course, 30 days down the road, you see that the property's been reduced twice and is now going to sell for way less than what you could have sold it for. So you actually got penalized for telling the seller the truth. So that's why we bring this right into the presentation. Our reality-based selling price range guarantee basically says, hey, look when you deal with us, we're going to tell you the truth. Okay, we're going to give you a straight on price. We're not going to buy your listing. We're not going to lie to you to get your listing. When we give you a price, it is an honest, realistic price, and we guarantee to sell your home within $5,000 of the price that we promise you, and then there'll be whatever the consequence is. So we'll reduce our commission by X amount. You decide. Remember, this would be your program, not mine, not Amanda and Todd's. We show you how to set this up for you. Okay, number 6 is reality-based timetable. Well, this is a no-brainer. Now that in number 5, they're now convinced to price their property right, because you've given them a guarantee that we're actually going to sell it at that price within $5,000 of it. You know that if they price it right, it's going to sell in a reasonable amount of time. So you can, what's that time going to be? It's going to be 30 days, 60 days in your marketplace. If the seller actually took your advice on listing the home at your recommended list price, it would sell very quickly. Well, in this marketplace, multiple offers immediately. Number 7, honest presentation of experience and track record. So this is another thing that happens. Todd and Amanda go meet with the seller, and they're very honest about who they are. They're honest about their track record, their experience. But has this ever happened to any of you? You lost the listing to somebody you had no business losing the listing to, and you found out after the fact that that other realtor exaggerated their track record, exaggerated their experience. So how do we disarm that? How do we stop that from happening or reduce that from happening? We give in writing, we give the seller our honest presentation of experience and track record. So we have assembled a little brochure about Todd and Amanda and who they really are. Here's how many homes they've sold, their years and experience in the business. We tell the truth. And we guarantee that all the facts inside of this, this facts brochure about Todd and Amanda are the truth. And if anybody can find that anything in this facts brochure is false, Todd and Amanda will donate $1,000 to the charity of your choice. Folks, nobody else is doing any of these, let alone all 8 of these. Okay, the final one is our qualified buyer's guarantee. Okay, so here's how this deal works. I'm at Todd and Amanda's house, and we've got the listing signed, right? Or we're working on getting the documentation signed here. And I'm going to ask Todd and Amanda a question. I'm going to say, okay, as far as Todd and Amanda, as far as showing your property, there's 2 ways we can do this. One way we can do this is like all the other agents. So whenever we get a buyer that's interested in your property, we just call you, book an appointment, and we bring them through. Or we could do it this way. Okay, my preferred method is, with your permission, is that we mandate, okay, that you mandate me to meet with all the buyers and make sure they're financially qualified and they have all the information on your property before I call you to book the appointment. So how would you like to do this? Let anybody go through, right? Or would you prefer that we mandate that the buyers must meet with me to make sure that they're financially qualified, they have all the information on your property before I call you and you run around cleaning your house? Almost every seller, if you position it that way, will say, well, obviously, my choice is number 2. I would prefer that we mandate that all the buyers meet with you, get financially qualified, get all the information on the property before we bring them through. Great. So now I can give them guarantee number 8, which is our qualified buyer's guarantee. We guarantee that any buyer we bring through the property is financially qualified. Right. And if you find that we bring any buyer through your home that says later they can't afford your house, we will deduct $500 off our commission. Now, you can't really do this for the other brokers, right, that are representing their buyers, but we can do this for our buyers. So you could take any of these guarantees. If folks watching this, if you took just 1 or 2 of these, just start with even one of these guarantees and start to use it in your marketing and start to use it in your presentations. And you'll see that it starts to work. That's why we're giving this away to you. That's why we're having this conversation. We want to demonstrate the success that Todd and Amanda have. But to get the full training on this, here's what you need to do. Our purpose here today was, if you're in Metro Atlanta, I want you to meet Todd and Amanda. You might know them. You might be in the marketplace right now. You might be competitors. Don't compete with them. Join up with them. Give them a phone call. Okay, they will coach you up on this. They will train you how all this works. Because right now, maybe at the end of our conversation here, you've got more questions and answers. That's perfectly normal. Almost every realtor, the first time they're exposed to the Craig Proctor system, has more questions and answers, right? Like, this is a process here. We need to coach you up, get your head around it. I would say, Todd and Amanda, I would say the head part of this is the hardest part.
Absolutely.
Without a
Right.
doubt.
The actual doing of it's not that difficult. It's getting your head around these guarantees and feeling comfortable with it, understanding how to market it, understanding how to handle the inquiries as they come in. But that's what we do. We coach you folks up on this. So we show you how this intellectual property works. Okay, we coach you up on how to use it. Now, when you work with Todd and Amanda, okay, you're an outside sales agent. Here's how this deal is going to work. They are going to coach you up. You're going to have more tools in your toolbox when you go meet with a seller than any other realtor in the marketplace. Okay, you're going to have all the tools that you're going to need to win the listing. Our goal is, number one, we want to convince the seller that you're the person for the job. And number two, we want to convince the seller that you're worth more money. Here's what we don't want to happen. We don't want to be doing any commission matching. You know how that works, right? Yeah, Craig, we really liked you. We prefer to list with you. But we had another agent in yesterday and they said they do it for $1,000 less. No. The job of the presentation, it's a big job. It has to be your presentation has to be so powerful that two things happen. Number one, okay, they're convinced they should work with you and only you. And number two, they're even willing to pay you more. Some of the skeptics here might say, well, that's impossible. My marketplace is different. Everyone says that, by the way. My marketplace is different. And we say, no, it's not really. And they go, no. I understand you hear that from everyone, Craig, but my marketplace is really, really different. No, it's not. Sellers all want the same thing, the most amount of money, okay, a fast sale. They want this to be convenient. Buyers want houses. They want priority notification of proprietary homes. Buyers and sellers have universal wants. We address what it is that buyers and sellers want. Folks, this is a system. All you have to do is plug yourself into the Craig Proctor system. Now, again, if you happen to be watching this and you're not in Metro Atlanta, let me know in the comments below what you've thought about this. Did you find our conversation here extremely helpful? And if you're inside of Metro Atlanta, pick up the phone, call Todd and Amanda. Have no downside to having a conversation. They will, if the conversation goes well, they'll meet up with you. They'll give you a backstage pass to how this would work. But if and they won't take you on, by the way, if they don't think it's a good fit. Here's why. They're not looking for just anybody. They spend so much time with realtors that they bring on their team that they would never invest that kind of time unless they thought it was a really good fit. So you don't have to worry about them wasting your time. You meet with them. If you feel it's a good fit and they think it's a good fit, they'll spend hours and weeks and months coaching you and training you up. So you make more money. You've got more time in your life and more freedom. And hey, folks, that's why we got into real estate, right? So give us your contact information one more time there, Todd and Amanda.
Sure, absolutely. So 770-898-1088. We would love to, like I said, to have a conversation with you. It can be so much better than what you think real estate is right now. What you're going through, we've been there, we know. And man, this changes your life.
Yes. And
just can't express that enough. We'd love to talk to you and share that with you. And if you really have that heart for caring for your clients, that's who we're looking for, because we're not interested in mediocre service. We want our clients become like our family. They're with us for life. And we want an exceptional experience for them. And as a result of that, you're going to have an exceptional experience too.
One more thing I want to add. You're watching this right now and and you're with a franchise, you're with obviously another broker, you're not with Todd and Amanda right now. I want to ask yourself, does your broker, does your franchise give you these proprietary tools? Does your franchise right now, do they give you a 100% effective lead generation system? Do they give you a lead generation system? No, you have to fend for yourself. You're out there, you've got to be buying your leads from Zillow or Realtor or cold calling or door knocking or begging for referrals or however you do it. Okay, lead generation, a lead generation system is not something your company is giving you. Does your company or franchise, your existing company or franchise, do they give you a follow-up system? Do they give you a thorough, effective follow-up system? They don't give you the leads. They don't give you the follow-up system. They don't give you the technology. Okay, they don't teach you how to recruit, hire, train. And the reason they don't do this is because these are all proprietary systems that I created throughout the last 25 years of my real estate career. Okay, now my company fills the void. I believe we fill the void that real estate franchises should be filling. You know, the definition of a franchise is a proprietary way of doing something. So if you go to McDonald's, I mean, if you bought a McDonald's franchise, I don't know what that would cost in Metro Atlanta, $1 million or whatever, but they give you, they show you how to recruit, train, they give you the equipment, they show you how to set the whole business up. In real estate, here's what happens. They hand you your license. And now in the United States and Canada, you're required by law to hang your license out of brokerage. But what are you getting in return? Okay, we're giving you all the systems that you need. We're giving you a license to use the intellectual property. We're giving you the technology, and we're coaching you up on how to use it all. Folks, this is the best offer available in real estate right now. You can trust me on this. Your conversation with Todd and Amanda will not be wasted time. Okay, check it out. They're good people. They want to do a good job for their clients, just like I know you do as well. You can leverage off of them like they've leveraged off me. They said, we don't have to do everything that Craig did in the last 25 years. What's the old saying, Todd and Amanda? You don't have to be the smartest kid in class. You just have to be smart enough to sit next to him. So that's it. That's it, folks. Look, I hope everyone's enjoyed our conversation here today. Now, again, if you want to book a call with me, if you're not in Metro Atlanta, you should book a call with me. In the comments below, we'll have a link. It's proctorcall.com. So my name here, proctorcall.com. You'll go to my day timer, pick a day and a time that works for you. We'll have a conversation about where you are in your business right now and where it is you want to go. And if at the end of our hour conversation, you think, wow, working with Craig would be really helpful, then we could have a conversation about that. I would love that. And if not, no downside. You just keep doing what you're doing, and you can, keep anything of value that I shared with you. Just keep doing it on your own. But I do welcome everybody to get more information on what we do here. And I want to thank everybody for your time. We've been on this for an hour now, which, by the way, Todd and Amanda, is probably twice as long as most of my, if you're watching them on YouTube, it's about twice as long, but I really had a great time here with you today. So I love your enthusiasm. I love your energy, and I love getting to know you better. And I know you're going to just continue to have success and grow. And I hope our interview here helps people make a decision to at least reach out and have a conversation with us.
Yes, thank you,
Us as
Craig.
well. Thank you so much, Craig. And guys, listen, don't let anything stand in between you and accomplishing what your dreams are. And this man right here can make that happen through this system. It's life-changing.
Yeah,
Don't put it off.
He is the gateway. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Look, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, thanks everybody for watching the Craig Proctor Real Estate Show, and we'll see you all next time. Take care. Have yourself a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's gonna let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.